We're back, baby. And my microphone's working. My camera is not, but that's not important right now. Good morning to everyone out there in cryptocurrency world. It's a nice little Tuesday morning. We're doing a bit of a different Tuesday live stream. My schedule is going to be very different as well, I guess, probably over these next couple months. I think there's going to be some improvements and some massive failures as well with that too. I think a lot of people from the US are going to be very, very happy with it. I think other people are not. But fair enough, man. Fair enough indeed. I see all sorts of familiar faces in here right now, which is really, really good. Nice and early morning with 400 people watching live on YouTube at this exact moment. And I see Matador MC, Mr. Big Boy George, XRP 100X Shillbilly. Very appropriate name for an XRP shill. Absolutely. I thought that the crew had died in the past few years, but they still remain alive. What's up, Mr. Nimbo? How's the snow over there? It's snowing. The snow is snowing. I can tell you that. I was just outside earlier getting my nice little cup of caffeine, and it is actually quite intense. Just massive sleets of snow always blowing in your face. Goddamn, man, it is it's like a real trek just to walk like 10 fucking minutes away from my apartment. Actually insane, but worth it for the right things. I see some people here from San Diego. San Diego, as I always say, is the best part of California, maybe even one of the best places in America. It's just attached to the wrong state. Why do this? Why do this indeed? Anyways, plenty to talk about today. I do want to be getting into more of a higher term time frame look for Bitcoin, despite Bitcoin, I mean, more or less still playing in a range, as you can see right here, but well, a pretty fucking massive range to be fair. But things are shaping up to, at least in my opinion, get pretty fucking crazy here. Again, I've been trying to fit in to the analysis of, or at least like the more long-term picture look. How are things going to kind of evolve from here if there's a very high probability of at least seeing $114,000 price per Bitcoin before the end of February, which means that it could happen much sooner, which means that it could happen or be a much bigger target as well. But $114,000 would be new highs for Bitcoin, obviously. So that is going to be the focus of today's video. And and also some pretty cool stuff over here on TradingView. I'm going to be a little bit of a TradingView shill right now, but TradingView is actually hosting options data straight up on their website now. They even have kind of like an options calculator here. I think it's probably free, but maybe it might it might cost you an account. But fair enough. If you do have at least a pro or premium, I suspect you should have access to this, and I do think that this is going to become a pretty useful portion of this analysis. Actually, it'll help with today's agenda, if you want to call it that. Anyways, Matthew Stanislav says, the crew is here. Got a derp. Sometimes my Finnish bro. See you in Miami? Maybe. Oh, nice. You live in Miami? Okay. I think things are going to be better for you in just under a month from right now. Just under a month. Anyways, I do want to say that it is the beginning of our New Year sale. We did not start it literally on the New Year. We started it yesterday. It'll be running for 1 week from today. The code is 2025. Literally the numbers 2025 2025, like the new year basically, and it gives you 20% off of any one of the programs or services, which you can find a link to in the Teachable link below. Other than that, I want to talk about very quickly here a major upgrade that we're having for the Quant Prime service. If you're not familiar with Quant Prime service, it allows you to create, test, and automate your trades. And the upgrade is this. I'm working on and have been working on an AI chatbot that, well, is kind of like an assistant quant and can help you run through and set up strategies through the Quant Prime service. So it'll be like a little chat GPT for that. Like I said, I'm working on it right now. It's already actually pretty good. It can handle, I would say, up to intermediate type of questions very, very well. I mean, it's very, very accurate for that. When you get into some extremely nuanced situations, yeah, it might struggle. But I do want to say for the people who are already in the Quant Prime service and are already using this, it's actually massively beneficial for you to ask your questions, even if it doesn't give you the right answer, because then I can see the question on my dashboard and I can go into it and edit the right answer so that it's more robust in the future. But right now it's in beta. I also do plan to make one of these for the trade like a quant program right here. Just, you know, I think it just massively increase the value of these things, you know, basically have like a tutor kind of walking you through it. And you can ask questions at any moment in time that you so desire. Anyways, I see we have a new follower on Twitch. Very nice. I haven't made a stream on Twitch in probably over a year now. It's been quite some time, man. I actually kind of miss that. Indeed. I do want to give a shout out over here to MetaSignals. It will play a part in today's analysis as well. But I did want to follow up on that signal that we spoke about on yesterday's video. Fired off around $98,500. Did show target 1 at 100,345, target 2 at 103,000, and target number 3 at 105. $850,000 price per fucking Bitcoin. Obviously, the first two targets of this have been met. Target number 3 is a lot lower probability. It is around the 30% mark. So, you know, could it hit it from here? I mean, actually, definitely possible. But, or I mean, if there's going to be any sort of a move, it probably would be this move, I guess. But still, it does seem like it's a little bit further away. As we go into today's video, that is a major area of interest, at least for the higher term timeframes. Anyways. There is no Dana Krown, only Zool. I don't know what the hell that means, but I like it. There can only be one. There can only be one indeed. Wes von Biltong says, morning Krown. Scotland says, hi, send some snow here. We can send all the snow. We can send all the snow that you fucking can handle. But I suspect, being that you are Scottish, you're not talking about the real snow outside. You're talking about a different kind of snow, which is also fine, but we don't have that much in Finland, unfortunately. Or at least I could probably use some this morning, man, because I'm feeling massively tired myself. Anyways, yeah, Doom play was great. I love Doom, and I just saw actually that they're gonna have another game coming out maybe this year, maybe next year, something like that. That'd be pretty fucking awesome. I see a lot of shitcoin requests to start off today as well. It's good. I see Bear Nutrition. Good morning to you. Alex Switch as well. Good morning to you, our lovely moderators. And yeah, lots of shitcoins here already. Holy shit. It's going to be very interesting for me, as always, during these streams. It's a very selfish endeavor because I get to see the shitcoins that, you know, are, I guess, on the top of the topics. The top of the topics, the hot topics of the day. Anyways, I'll give another minute or two for people to join in. I do understand that it's a little bit strange doing a live stream on a Tuesday, but like I said, for the next 2 months almost, I'm gonna have a pretty weird schedule, and you know, I'm not really gonna have anything like super set in time. So if I have time to do a live stream, I'll do a live stream. If I don't, then I don't. But today, Tuesday, will be good. Maybe we even do another one on Friday. Friday would be a good day actually. So. Perhaps we'll save the date. Anyways, I need to make 2 million to buy houses. OMG, no problem. Just start out with 4 million and invest in your favorite shitcoin and wait a few months. That usually does it. Anyways, there's an Erica Krown Nano Cave for all of your derp informations. That's right. All of my derps I keep on the Nano Cave. All of the herps I keep on the Crypto Cave. It's that simple, man. Partner from Portland, Oregon. Holy shit, man. It's been a while since I've been in Portland, Oregon, but I did go to school at University of Oregon. Really fun time, really fun place. But goddamn, man, like looking afar, I don't know what it is actually like on the ground there, but looking at it from afar here and seeing all of the news and everything, especially on Twitter, which you never know like how accurate that actually is. It looks pretty shitty now, man, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I just rewatched it. Pretty good movie. Nice one. I'm glad to hear that. Bit worked too. What the fuck? What sort of English language are you trying to speak right there, sir? Are you jamming PoE too? I am, man. I am, except I stopped about a week ago because I beat the what's available in the campaign right now. What I got, however, a couple days ago was this. God, I need to talk about this. Look, if you're a gamer, this is it's the most hilariously bad game I've ever played ever. That is intended to be an actual good game, and it is called Skull and Bones. It's fucking god awful. It is actually terrible for a AAA studio to put out something that is actually that bad. It is totally fucking embarrassing how bad it is. Like, I play it just to laugh at it, which I guess kind of works, but god damn, man, it really is a piece of shit. Anyways, Oregon and Seattle aren't that bad, about the same as any major city. Most major cities in the U.S. struggling, man. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, a lot of Portland people here. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. When I did go to Portland, it just reminded me of like a very small but cleaner, actually, version of San Francisco. I don't know how well that holds up anymore, though. Yeah, why did you play that trash? It is that fucking bad, man. It really is. I mean, goddamn, your ship has a stamina bar. Like, what is this? And I'm sorry. Look, I'm not sexist, okay? I want to start this sentence by saying I'm not sexist, but what the fuck are all these women doing on my ship? It's a pirate ship, for fuck's sake. I know that there were some female pirates way back in the day, but there was like two, okay? There was two. The probability of having half of your fucking crew being a multicultural mix of men and women, and who knows if they actually included anything else as well, very low probability. I don't like it for the accuracy. Yeah, very fucking bad, man. Here from Melbourne, Australia, mate. Melbourne actually looks pretty cool. Or where's the area that Jason Pizzino lives in? Jason sends me fucking houses all the time from his area. Not all the time, but he sends me houses from his area with the prices, and I look at them and I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty fucking nice. Not bad. I like what's going on over there. I guess the issue with Australia is that it's so fucking far away from everything else that you're just going to spend all of your life traveling. Anyways, I think we are just about ready to start the analysis. See, there's nearly 800 people watching live right now. Let me make sure that this is working over here. Fix this up too, and I think we're good there and there. Just making sure. Okay, yeah. All right, sweet. Let me get my notes out over here. And actually, first, you know what? I am going to start this analysis with the options data right here. I think that this is incredibly valuable, incredibly useful. Now, if you're not familiar with me or if you're new here, I haven't really even spoken about it that much in the past 2 to 3 years, but I actually got my start as an equity options market maker. My official title was a market maker authorized trader. And so I'm actually like very impressed to see that TradingView is hosting options data on the actual TradingView. And so one of like the really simple sort of what methods that you can use to gauge what market makers are essentially pricing as far as a probabilistic range for a certain date, you can use options for that to like a really good degree, actually. So for example, here we are looking at the Jan 31st options expirations for CME, and we can see, okay, I need to turn off the damn sound on that because that is really fucking annoying. Holy shit. And we can see the at the money strike rate here, which is the 102 strike, is basically being bought at, okay, it's about 6,000. Okay, so it's like a $6,000 range, or sorry, 6,000 about average price, let's say, for the call side. And for the put side, what do we have? I'm just marking this to middle, like 5,400. So, just doing some bad mental math, that's like 11,000, 12,000-ish region. So what does that mean? Well, to the upside, market makers are saying that by the end of January 31st, their models are looking for Bitcoin around like about close to 6,000 plus, or sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one again. Yeah, 6,000 plus 102. So that's about 108. That would be to the upside. To the downside, what are they looking at for the range? The range would be about 5,400. So 5,400 minus 102 is what, like 107-ish region. That's kind of what, or not 107, 97. Jesus, man, my brain is just not working this morning. So about 97 to 108 is what they expect the range to be, as far as price will very likely fall into, again, by the end of January 31st. Now, of course, that can massively change. What would change that equation? Well, the biggest change would be due to, volatility spiking. But as it stands right now, that's what market makers are thinking. So you can kind of adjust your own perceptions based off of that, because what that essentially is telling you is kind of it's kind of like a backwards way of figuring out what the price of the underlying actually is, because, well, it's just, they're pulling their quotes very likely from the Black-Scholes formula. So whatever we see there that's likely what it's being based off of, at least primarily. So I would look at that as at least relevant. Again, coming into the end of this month. Now, if we go to February, whoops, I just goofed this up. If we go to February right here, I'm curious to see what the end of February would look like. Let me go back to the chain. Boom, 28th. Okay, and if we are looking at the money strikes right here as well, 102, they're looking at about a 10,000, trading for about 10,000. On the call side, and on the put side, trading for a little over 8,000, like 8,200. So what would that essentially be in alignment with for the upside? Well, that would be actually 112 to the upside. So it's starting to get very, very close to that 114 target. Again, volatility will change this equation quite significantly, but for right now, we shall wait and see how that evolves, as the weeks kind of pass on. Anyways, Black-Scholes is a great series. Is that the one? Is that the Stars one with the pirates and shit? I don't know. Black Sails. No, I'm thinking of Black Sails, not Black-Scholes. I'm thinking of Black Sails. Fuck, man. I forgot that one. I would actually like to watch that. Anyways, let me get back to my notes over here, get back on track as well. Okay, so let's go back into perhaps a little bit more of just a simplistic analysis right here. I do think that it is important to get into this because, well, this is where most of things happen. And looking at the daily, we do see that Bitcoin has done something of significance yesterday. It did take out the last prior lower daily high, which was over here from late December, and also would have been that right shoulder if you were looking at this as a head and shoulders, which we did say was likely to fail. The path of that, however, very fucking variable. Anyways, with Bitcoin making a higher high right here compared to that high, it is in the process of reversing a daily trend. Now, of course, you can't really have a trend reversal until you have, of course, both a higher high and a higher low. But seeing as we already have a higher high, well, the next sort of part of the equation would be a higher low. So at some point, Bitcoin very likely to pull back, whether it happens around this region or maybe from a little bit higher, like 105, something like that. The next higher low is probably going to be that next major opportunity. How far can things come down? I mean, 0 is always the answer, but I wouldn't really be looking for new lows below January's low, at least with the way that things are shaping up right here. I mean, things could easily pop back down to like 95,000 to 97,000-ish region. But ultimately that would be another higher low. But keep in mind, it is still high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So that is your last lower low right there, which is at about 91,500 bucks, let's say. So anything above there will be a higher low and will thus confirm this as a reversal. I know a lot of people are probably looking at this as a W formation as well. I'm not a humongous fan of those formations, but if you are looking at as a W formation, you do need to see it close above the Thursday wick high, which is on CME 103,200, and then you probably have a technical target, north of 110, something like that. In fact, I could just very quickly do it right here. Kind of a bit of a convoluted chart right now, but actually that would be pointed towards 114. Wait, did I do that right? Okay, yeah, 114. I don't know what. Oh, this one is coming off of the inverted head and shoulders failure target. Either way, I do think that Bitcoin is starting to really hint at an explosive start to this year. This first quarter, I do think is we're very likely to see new highs. We're probably going to see some special Bitcoin movements. Elsa Wench, I need water. Just realized my water bottle's empty. Anyways, onto my notes back here. And okay, yes, we got that. Okay, now I want to go over here to the weekly HPDR. So with yesterday's move, Bitcoin on the weekly is above the median, reclaiming the median that early in the week and also, trading like well above it at one point as well is a good sign to me that Bitcoin probably does play above the median, or sorry, close above the median for the end of this week. And at that point, the range as far as the HBDR is going to go is the median is going to be somewhere around like 103, and the top side of the 38.2 level is going to be 116. So again, just another thing suggesting that if Bitcoin does want to put in a fucking Bitcoin move from here, it can, like, it's a possibility. And if we go back on over here to the meta signal setup, we can see that target number 3, which has not been hit yet, which is just under 106,000. I mean, if that does get hit, well, obviously that is going to bring things, well above all of these, all of these areas of interest that we're speaking about right now. And, at that point you have to be thinking, or at least I have to be thinking 110 plus. Until then, I would be cognizant that Bitcoin can very easily pull back from here, or just anywhere below 105. Anywhere below 105, it can initiate a pullback. But again, it's higher low watch, and I highly doubt that Bitcoin makes new lows below, again, the early January lows. And that would, very likely be, at least in my opinion, the last major opportunity for a major trending trade, entry, if you are that kind of person who's kind of looking to get into a long-term swing position. Could also be that Bitcoin just does a Bitcoin thing, like I say, and just fucking green dildos his way exactly from here. Always possible with Bitcoin, but I do think it's a little bit less probable. On top of that, we do see on, where's my momentum charts? My momentum charts, we do see that the daily stochastic oscillator is now positioned to the upside and will be remaining with upside pressure as long as Bitcoin on CME is above 93,300. By the way, is trading nearly $10,000 above that pivot as of right now. Getting its first cross up from this region in a very long time, by the way, as well. Last time we saw it even from this region was back on over here in September, coming off of this major low, which obviously did propel price significantly further to the upside from about $52,000 all the way up to $67,000 over the next couple of weeks. And then when we go from there, we can see that the 2-day time frame is probably very close to switching up here as well. It will close again. It will close tonight. So this will update tonight. And the current pivot is 101,400. So if Bitcoin does remain above there, you're going to see the daily and 2-day turn in the same direction. And then, of course, we'll turn to the 3-day to see where that one's at. That's 107. And that is that's actually fresh. So probably not happening today. Anyways. I mean, obviously, if that pivot was met, then that makes things a lot easier for just blindly being massively fucking bullish, I guess. Anyways, and then last couple things. One, we do see where did I put my damn thing? Where did I put my damn thing? Did I get rid of it? Yeah. The same setup from yesterday that we showed, the 2-day RSI setup. Very fucking simple setup. Just RSI close above EMA, enter. RSI close below EMA, exit. These will be the results for this time frame on the 2-day. Over the full history of Bitcoin, saw about 35.5% strike rate. And well, again, I would say that these early occurrences right here do massively influence the data. Thank you, sir. Yeah, something like that. Hey, did you take my coffee? Bring it back. Bring it back. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways, the average winning trade based off of this setup is 21.5%. The average losing trade losing just over 3.5%. And this one did fire off last night. Now, do be aware, again, very low hit rate, relatively, just under 34%. We have seen the last 1, 2, 3 trades on this strategy fail. What, sir? Take off the top. No, why would I do that? Put it through the top.
Oh my God.
Elsa doesn't know how to fill up water. It's very cute. Anyways, so yes, this one did fire off with yesterday's closure. It did technically fire off way up over here at about 102,200. Yes, it does have a very low hit rate, but if it does play out, I mean, that would be your mega bullish scenario from here, and 20% from that prospective entry at 102, which is already confirmed. What does 20% look like on top of price action? That puts Bitcoin to, puts it well above $120,000. So not bad. Of course, does have a higher probability to fail. I gaff more than fucking Biden. Thank you, sir. All right, finally got my water back. This is much better. Let me freshen up. Oh, it's very good water. Very, very, very high quality H2O. But it is interesting to me, and I know that this is the gambler's fallacy, but this is very interesting to me to see the last 3 trades in a row fail. This one firing off over here, you have to be thinking, okay, is this one more likely to work out or not? Technically speaking, it is still about a 34% probability to work out. But in my experience, when you see several losses in a row, a lot of the time, the next one does have at least in my experience, a greater hit rate. Again, just an observation, can massively be wrong in this as well. I've also seen things do like crazy consecutive wins or losses, on both sides. So fair enough. Anyways, if Bitcoin is going to be bullish, that's kind of what we would expect. And we'd essentially expect Bitcoin to remain above the moving average on the RSI. So that's how this trade stays open right here. If Bitcoin on the 2-day time frame does come back down below the moving average, then it closes that trade. And the average loss that we've seen for this strategy has been about 3.5% or so. And if we take that from our current entry, where that put Bitcoin, that'd put Bitcoin back around $98,500. So if you see Bitcoin somewhere around there, you're probably going to see this one fail as well. But that just sets it up for yet another entry probably soon after that. Honestly, I can see this snaking around here and given another entry relatively soon after that. That'd also be your higher low on the daily as well. So we'll just kind of drag the timeline out, but the result is more or less the same. Anyways, stay hydrated. We're staying hydrated, baby. We are staying hydrated as fuck right now. Very, very good. Anyways, I do see that there's a lot of new people here as well. I do want to just remind myself, perhaps remind you as well, that we do have our sale going on for this first week of the new year 2025. The code is 2025 in numbers, like just the numbers 2025, gets you 20% off of any one of the programs or services in the Teachable link in the description below. Quant Prime is actually 25% off. Apply to the lifetime of your subscription, which is the longest, biggest one that we have. And for the new people here who missed this at the beginning of the stream, there are major upgrades coming to Quant Prime. I mean, it's already in Quant Prime, but I'm working on making it even more powerful, which is having an AI chatbot similar to ChatGPT that is trained on the course materials, that is trained on the Quant Prime, like just the service in a whole, and can essentially just be like a little mentor in a box right there for you. I'll also, after I'm done working on that one, I will do the same thing for the Trade Like a Quant program. I'm not going to raise the price or nothing like that, and you can get it on discount right now as well. But I think it'd be I think it'd be massively valuable to have like someone to ask questions to that's available to you at every moment of the day, because it's a bot. Like Elsa I keep on telling Elsa I'm going to replace her as customer service with a bot. And she's like, you're replacing me with the bots. Like everything's going to be fucking replaced. Everything. Like all of your friends are going to lose their jobs. People are going to be able to train AI on my videos like very easily, I suspect. And they'll just make my own videos and it'll probably know my content better than myself. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but that's where we're headed, at least. That's at least what it seems like to me. And it seems, if you really do your research, this stuff is coming fucking fast, like this year. Anyways, when Asswipe coin, well, we need Asswipe coin. Asswipe coin is an integral part of this whole crypto ecosystem. That's what we need it for. Anyways, I'm going to get on to some of the comments over here. I see that Elsa saved quite a fair bit for me. So let's see what we can do. Again, if you want to, if you want to get your comments in as well, what you can do is you can actually go to the weekly Q&A section over here on Discord for the pre-recorded video. If you don't make the live streams, just so you know, obviously the people here right now, you're already on the live stream. Oh, and I forgot to mention this as well, but I can just show you daily statistics. Anyways, I'll get on to the comments for what it's worth right now. We'll start it off with David. He's looking at render on the 4-hour and daily. Oh, hold on. Just one last sip. One last good sip. Need to make sure I get it as close to the microphone as possible as well, so that everyone and their mother can complain about the very nasty, very unprofessional sounds. You don't come here for professional time. You come here for a silly goose time. It's very clear. It's very fucking clear. It's fucking cryptocurrency land. Like, you cannot be serious. I cannot, it really rustles my jimmies whenever someone on YouTube is like wearing a fucking suit and tie and being very prim and proper about fucking crypto, okay? Crypto, where butt coin, ass wipe coin, and fucking derpity herp coin rule the world and cum rockets. Today, we will be talking about the very serious topic of the render token. The render token, known for, who knows what the fuck it's known for. You don't even know what a joke is. Anyways, render, I mean, putting in a higher low right here. So to me, this one is in the process of reversing, already has a higher high right here. So actually the reversal is confirmed. Daily momentum pointed up from this region as well, as long as render is above $7.50. Right now trading at 867 or so. You know, I think it's going to fall through to the upside. Let's see. What does a 5-day say? 5-day pivot is 844. Obviously, if it does remain above there in the next 3.5 days, that would make things a lot easier for just calling for a retest of the December highs in the very near future, I suppose. But for right now, just respect the trend. Can get a pullback here as well, similar to Bitcoin, but I'd be looking for higher lows above $7.50. Overall, the direction seems to really be shaping up. Whether it looks like this, whether it looks like this, I don't think is like super important, or at least that's just my opinion. If I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame, I am more inclined to say that this one will pull back kind of around here. Maybe it spikes one more time a little bit higher towards 9.25, something like that. But ultimately, I do like this area just personally as a bit of a pullback for the short-term timeframes. But again, don't get confused with anything on the higher-term timeframes. Higher-term timeframes would just be a higher low and continuation, very likely to the upside. The only way to get bearish on this thing is if you came back down below your December lows, and that's quite far away from current price action as it stands. I'm actually curious what the monthly looks like just to see. God damn it, my stupid drawing tool. I done goofed again. There we go. Yeah, I'm more inclined to say that this one does head up from here. Anyways, moving on, we have Steven Schickman. He says, Doggy Daily Weekly, do you think we break previous all-time high? Doggy Daily Weekly. Yes, the Doggy coin, also a very highly esteemed cryptocurrency, very serious, and represented by the meme of a Shiba Inu. A dead one as well, by the way, just so you know. He fucking died. He got smoked, stupid dog. Kidding, okay? I'm kidding. It's a beautiful dog, and actually a pretty good chart. Better than most things, honestly. better than... The very serious cryptocurrency market, one of the top coins, not just in tentacles, but also just in market cap as well. It's fucking Doggy coin. It's fucking Doggy coin. Hey, stop it. You think it's funny, and that's disgusting. You're immature. It's not funny. There's nothing. I am not wearing pants, and that's fine. Anyways, same thing over here. Monthly isn't an uptrend. Do I think it's going to retest all-time highs? Yes. Do I think it's going to make new all-time highs? Yes. Do I think it's going to trade towards $1? Yes. I mean, the question is, does it do it from here, or do you pull back in the short term and put another daily higher low? I don't know, somewhere around like 35 cents. It's easily possible for this thing to pull back from here and set in a higher low before that continuation higher. But the higher time frames are all saying the same shit. It's all saying the same shit, man. I'm more inclined to say that this one does trade a bit more sideways, honestly, between like 45 cents to the upside versus 35 cents to the downside. But very likely it does resolve the range to the upside. 5-day time frame is going to turn back up if it closes basically here or higher in the next 3.5 days. If you see that, that makes things a little bit easier for calling for a retest of your December highs. And then from there, it's probably continuation. So, yeah. Shit, it might even just continue from here. This thing probably does spike a little bit higher first before any potential pullback. Wouldn't be surprised to see like 40, 41, 42 cents. Something like that. Anyways, we have thinking about the name next. He's looking at XVG Verge. Holy shit, man. This is from way back when. This is 2017 shitcoin. This was a John McAfee shitcoin. Yeah, I remember this shit. Moi. Anyways, Elsa is leaving now, so I'm on my own with the super chats. I'm going to warn you right now. All super chats that are submitted after this moment, it's going to be a fucking wild card whether I find it or not, because I do not have my Elsa anymore. Anyways, yes. So looking at this, I just want to pull this out from 2017. I remember this because I was just kind of getting into this market, and John McAfee comes around and lists Verge as his top coin of the week, and this thing pumped from whatever the hell this ungodly number is right here to this area right here, 30 cents. In a very short amount of time. That's a 2.5 million% gain. Crazy. 2.5 fucking million%. Oh God. Anyways, some great documentaries on John McAfee. Anyways, Pierce M says, many blessings of good fortune and health to you, your family, and loved ones. Wow, that's very polite. Thank you. You as well. Please look at the most sophisticated AI agent in the space, FAI. Oh, is this fuck AI? Phrase, is this like the Dragon Ball Z character? Like, what is it? Frieza has that stupid fucking voice. I do think that you've hit a local high right here. I think this thing probably does trade down closer to like 4 cents. Holy shit, that's a big move. But I mean, it's kind of like, I'm not bearish on something that looks like this. I just think it pulls back at least, and you probably see a bounce. Actually, sorry, somewhere closer to like 5 cents, maybe a little under 5 cents. But I do think that you see a bounce right there, and maybe it tries getting higher. But who knows with something like this? I'm very skeptical to see this thing go from. How big of a move is this? Hold on. This is like a John McAfee move. What? It went up 45,000% in the last couple months? How is that even possible? In the last like 6 months. I don't know what the fuck's going on right here, man. I do like this area for a bit of a pullback just because you are testing around your prior all-time highs, but you know, it can very easily come just below 5 cents and put another bounce there. So I'd want to see it first because this is a very bizarre looking chart to me. Anyways, moving on, we have thinking about the name. He says AIOZ USD. Is it more likely to pull back first? Let's see. It depends what time frame really you're looking at, of course. I mean, you could get several 5-minute pullbacks within a 1 hour trend, for example. But I'm guessing you're going with the general time frames. If I'm always going to bet on a pullback when you hit regions like this. Am I always going to be right on it? No, but I'm going to be right, or it's not that I'm going to be right, but that's going to be the right move more often than not. Whenever you kind of retest, you know, prior significant highs like this, which it quite literally has over here at about 118 or so, you know, it's good to be looking for a bit of a pullback. This is a 4-hour time frame though, so I don't know if this is relevant to you. You know, again, this one could pull back all the way to, you know, it could easily pull back below $1 and it'd still be a higher low. But I give it a chance to just pull back over these next few days. Personally, I think it'll come down to at least low $1 region, like 102, 103. If I'm like super optimistic, I guess I could be looking for a higher low there. Personally, I think probably comes a little bit lower than that. But ultimately, the direction is the same. Look at the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame actually does suggest that a pullback down to low $1 should be a higher low, should be a bounce, and should continue on with a rally, actually. Next sort of areas of interest to the upside would be like 155, 160-ish region. Yeah, not bad. Quite strong. I'm guessing based off the name, it's an AI coin. Crazy. Thinking about the names, or sorry, no, skipped them. Steven Chickman says Ethereum daily weekly. Yep, we got that. 360s, 3666. Ethereum not enjoying that same move to the upside as Bitcoin, obviously, but similar sort of positioning compared to its current, I guess, consolidation, you know, right around that sort of spike high that you see from the 19th of December. We see the same shit on Bitcoin too, or around the same shit, which is essentially around the 618 Fibonacci retracement here too. So it's like, do you want to bet on a pullback from this region or not? Like I said, I'm always going to bet on a pullback from a region like this. Not always going to be right about it, but more often than not will be. And in this case, I'd have to be saying the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come down to maybe even below 3,600 and try for a higher low there. But, you know, higher term timeframes here, I mean, we do have a higher low on the daily. We do have a higher high as well, I guess, but not a very strong one, to be honest. But if it does come back down and swing around for another higher low, let's see, where would the areas of interest be? So let me pull this up right here. Okay, I have way too many fib retracements here, so let's just do for this particular segment. Yeah, most optimistic region would be 35.65. Then you got 35, basically 3,500, and then 34.60 below there for potential higher lows on this one. You know, still consolidating in this range between about 4,000 to the upside versus 3,300 to the downside. That's going to be a bullish consolidation. I mean, that is a higher term time frame, you know, 5-day higher low, weekly higher low as well. And the monthly two here too. The monthly momentum also freshly turning up, holding within the bullish control zone, as long as Ethereum closes above $3,000 at the end of this month, January, which I think it probably will. So, you know, to me, it's like, how cute do you want to get with the pullback? Well, that's up to you. But ultimately, this one, like several other ones that we've seen today, you know, I do think resolve higher in the not so distant future. I mean, I think maybe for this one, probably even before February, and at least by the end of February. Time is a ticking. Thinking about the name says SAI, short and long term. Okay, is this another AI thing? Sharp AI, lots of AI stuff today. That's what's hot. Ooh, I like this one. Yeah, very good. This one's gonna make new all-time highs probably even today. I'm gonna write this one down. That's a nice one. What is the market cap on something like this? What is the market cap on something like this? Let's see. Sometimes you can find that statistic over here on TradingView, but in this case you can't. Let me pull up Coin Market Derp. Let's figure out some coins here. What was it? SAM? All right, let's check it out. Yeah, 10 million market cap. Holy shit. Where does it trade? It trades on the most highly esteemed exchanges that you would possibly expect, like Uniswap and MEXC and Gate.io and fucking Bing Derp. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. As far as charts go, this one's very likely ready for higher. In fact, like I said, I'm going to write this one down. Anyways, hey, God damn it. Work, computer. Don't be doing that. There we go. Okay. Just as always, exposing my autistic rages for these sort of things. Anyways, let me get back to the chats over here. We have, thinking about the name, he's back again. He's looking at AVAX short and long term. AVAX. Let's see. Not as strong as the last one that we just looked at. You know, it's a 2020, 2021 shitcoin. But you do have your weekly high or low. You don't necessarily have a weekly high or high just yet. But again, as long as you're playing between this range, 55 to the upside versus 35 to the downside, this is very likely to be resolved as a bullish, very likely to be resolved to the upside. Again, just high or low right there, man. Needs to be no more complicated than that. Very similar read over here on the monthly stochastic oscillator as Ethereum, actually, except instead of getting into the bullish control zone, it's actually just rejecting the bearish control zone. But that's also powerful in its own right, as long as this thing's above $30. So long term up, short term, just like all the other ones. I mean, you know, it could very easily pull back here. I don't have super strong opinions on that. My super strong opinions are on the higher term timeframes right now. If someone does want to come down, $41 would be an area of interest, and about 38.5 is where I'd be looking at for potential higher low if it doesn't just, you know, bullzuka its way from here. Anyways, let me just see what else I got. Okay. I can move on. Thinking about the name is back again. He's looking at Solana. Hold on. Let me, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? All right, let me get back to Solana over here. Okay, Solana 216. Let's see what this one's looking like on the weekly. Similar to the last one, you know, very likely to be resolved to the upside as long as it's playing between this range of 250 to the upside, basically your highs, versus 180 to the downside. Sideways here, essentially good for the boolas. And just like the last couple charts, I mean, I do think that this one could spike a little bit higher before maybe playing out a pullback, perhaps somewhere around like 230. wouldn't be too off-putting, but still, whether it pulls back here, whether it pulls back here, whether it pulls back a little bit higher, at some point you will get that pullback, but it's going to be very likely a time to be watching for a higher low. Again, the monthly look is the one that I'm very interested on this one, because if you're bullish on Solana, if you're bullish on Solana, meaning that you think Solana is not going to be going down to 140, then it has to have the low in already for January, and it must hold above 195, meaning that we do not expect anywhere below there this month. And with momentum on the monthly turning back onto the upside, as long as this thing's above 202, which it is, it's a long month left to go, upside is the more likely thing. Probably looking at 350, 400-ish region if and when it does break this prior high. It's just what sort of path does it take in the short term? Obviously, my crystal ball is broken on that account, but ultimately, I do think that it will resolve much higher. Again, that I will be completely wrong in that statement if you see it below, especially like 190, let's call it. But until then, it's all higher lows the whole way through. All right, back onto the chats over here. We have Mr. Justin Myers. He's looking at Coinbase for our daily weekly. Coinbase over here having a pretty heroic bounce off of the about 250-ish region. We are seeing daily momentum turn back up to the upside for the first time in a very long time, especially from this particular region. The last time we saw something similar was September, actually, on those September lows. And it remains with upside pressure as long as Coinbase is above 252. So I do look at this one as likely to try to consolidate this region between about 250 to the downside versus about 330 to the upside. As long as it's between there, I'm still going to be overall bullish on this. I like this chart on the monthly. I really do. And I've actually butted heads with some people that I massively respect as well. My mentor being one of them, who's bearish on this, but I'm just not bearish myself. At least not yet. And if this month closes anywhere above 256, which right now it's, right now, again, anything can happen in 3.5 weeks essentially. But, if 256 is my line in the sand, as long as it's above there, I'm bullish. And I'm looking for this thing to probably trade up closer to $400, before the end of this quarter. I don't hate this. Below 250, okay, yes, I'm going to be wrong. This thing's going to come down hard, but I don't think that's what's happening here. Actually, I really don't think that's what's happening. Anyways, as always, I reserve the right to be wrong and take absolutely zero responsibility for it. Okay. Let's move in. Oh, you're asking, is it likely to pull, or you're asking if Solana is likely to pull back. Sorry, let me actually go back to that. I'm curious, is Solana likely to pull back in the short term? 4-hour can very easily pull back here if it wants. If it wants like 209, this is completely fine. Could also easily spike up to 230 and play to pull back from there. Again, I don't have strong opinions on that. Separator. It's the Shermanator. I'm showing my age now. Those movies are classics. I've seen American Pie probably close to 50 times, fully through. but I think younger people don't see this movie. Anyways, looking at GLXY, okay, Galaxy. Whose firm is this? I know someone prominent owns this one, but it's really bothering me because I know you've asked about this a couple times. Anyways, it's actually even quite similar to Coinbase, at least as far as I look at it. I do think that this one will spike a little bit higher, maybe like $36.50. Maybe it plays at a bit of a short-term pullback from there, but daily's knocking on the door of a breakout. We're going to see momentum continue up here as long as it's above 26.5, and it's already at the top side of the range. So this one has real potential to actually try for a breakout. Trend is up the whole way through, so can't really hate that. Weekly time frame, same shit. Monthly time frame, same shit. All momentum oscillators are in the extreme critical zone, but I don't know how much it means for something like this. Yeah, if you see a daily closure or especially a weekly closure above $30.50, this thing is ready to probably try 40, 45. That's basically your all-time high. Or sorry, no, that is not your all-time high. This thing has been an absolute fucking dumpster fire since 2006. Wow. But at least retest this high over here. Anyways, moving on, we have Luis Rodriguez says, "I'm not high enough for this song." I think he said that during the during the intro. It's 9 a.m. You're not high? What is this? What is this nonsense? Yigit, hopefully I'm saying that right. Maybe I'm butchering this. I apologize if I am. Cassap says, "What's up, Krown? Good morning, sir. Last stream you said, I hope I did not butcher that name. Well, Cassap means butcher." Holy shit, really? That's awesome, man. And it looks like you're from Turkey, and fuck, man, I can tell you Turkish food is absolutely amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. Anyways, you are looking at OKEG. 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 All right, it is surprisingly on TradingView, so we can look at it. I was really not expecting to see it, honestly. Again, I'm always going to favor something that is in a clear trend. This one is in a clear uptrend here, but it is in a consolidationary, I guess, phase, if you want to call it that. You know, you got your lows, whatever the hell this ungodly number is here. Basically, your lows from late December, and then your highs coming in from this region right here, which is your 12th of December spike high. Anything between there should get resolved to the upside, assuming you don't break the actual downside. I just have an upside bias here. But in the short-term time frames, is it playing at a pullback? Yeah, very obviously it's playing at a pullback, but you got higher lows the whole way through it, even if it came back down to like 8 million something rather. I don't know what the fuck this base currency is. I can't tell you, man. Anyways, you're saying based on stochastic and BBWP, I suspect a new all-time high in the next leg up. What's the target above all-time high? Oh, okay. What's the target above all-time high? For this, I mean, I'll do something like this for this. I'm not going to take like a super aggressive one because I don't think that's wise. But above all-time high, the first big target will be 0.00013066 and several other numbers, something like this right here. Above there, if things get a little more crazy, I'd be looking at 0003. So there'll be a 3 handle, which is a absolutely fucking monstrous move from where it currently is at. And I'm just answering the question: if it breaks the all-time highs, what is the next major areas, of interest? I'm not saying it's going to break all-time highs, although I do think it could very easily retest all-time highs after this consolidation, to be fair. So, yep. Okay. Joel Smith says, "Land Wolf on Uniswap daily, weekly, please, Mr. Krown." No problem. As long as it's not Land Whale. Terrible joke to say. Like, just fucking terrible. But seriously, at least it's not. Yeah, looking at this right here. Again, weird chart. Just with all these with all these massive wicks to both sides, like every fucking day it seems like. But I'm guessing this is just a highly illiquid super shit coin, Land Wolf, for your Land Wolf needs. But regardless of that, daily momentum turning up from here, it would be another higher low. I kind of look at this as like a consolidationary range. Again, very likely bullish bias within this range as long as you're between this range, but not resolved until you're above 0.23, whatever the hell that number is there. And then, above there, this thing's going to make new all-time highs. And I think that it just generally will anyways. But this current consolidation can take quite some time, man. And of course, if it does break below whatever the hell this lower boundary is here, essentially your low from the 20th of December on a closing basis, this thing's going to fucking fall apart like tremendously, probably somewhere back down around here. But for now, I'd have a bullish bias on it as long as it kind of holds this range. Anyways, moving on from there, we have, thinking about the name, he's back again. He's looking at Total 3. Okay, so this is the total market cap minus Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all dollar derivatives. So no USDT, no USDC. Let's see how this one's looking. Very, very similar to most altcoin charts, actually. Looking at it right here, I'd say the same thing as what I said before. If you're bullish on this market, you have to think that the lows are already in. pretty much. And I'd be saying the same thing for this chart as well. Is it going to come down and reconnect officially with that red 5? I don't think so. I think this one's more likely to just fucking green dildo its way to the upside and then pull that moving average up to meet it rather than it going down to meet it. But looking at monthly momentum, it's going to be up as long as it's above whatever the hell this massive, tremendous number is right there, which is about 20% above. Yeah, it's about 20% above right now. So looking likely to me. I think that this thing's ready to break out to new all-time highs. And you're probably going to see, if I can do a Fibonacci extension for this thing, you're probably going to see, next major area of interest is going to be 1.35 trillion. I don't think that's going to be the high. 1.8 trillion to 2.5 trillion is kind of where I'd be looking for on a macro high for the cycle. Something like this around there. Maybe that's too conservative. Maybe it's not, but we'll see. If it gets there very, very quickly, then maybe I revise that. But for now, that's kind of what we'd be looking at on the cycle. Anyways, if you're asking as well, is there a pullback before continuation? It's very similar to Bitcoin here. I do think it can spike a little bit higher, maybe closer to like 108, 108 to 110 trillion, and then play at a pullback. But again, it's just higher lows. All higher term timeframes are bullish here. All higher term timeframes. Let's look at the quarterly. I'm actually curious to see. Yeah. I'm not. God damn it, stupid brush. I'm a painter, motherfucker. You're a painter, Harry. Yeah. Quarterly, I'm going to be bullish on this. So I think that this thing makes new all-time highs before this quarter is over. Just to put it bluntly, probably before February is over. Maybe before January is over, but probably before February is over. Matthew Stanislaw says, derping and dildoing. Fuck yeah, man. I'm gay for TA as well since 2017. Nice. You're looking at Osmo 4-hour daily weekly. Osmosis. Okay, do I know this one? No, I don't. I don't think I do, at least. Yeah, looking at this thing, compared to all the other charts that we've seen today, this is the worst chart that we've seen today, actually. Now, it is putting in a slew of higher lows here. Still has not really made any like worthy newer higher high. So I'm very skeptical of this one, especially on something that is more or less just only ever gone down. I mean, the monthly trend has never reversed, actually. But in this market, can we expect things to go down tremendously? Probably not. If anything, I'd be looking for this thing to probably try to move to the upside. But, again, as far as charts goes, this is the worst chart that we've seen today. The only way that I get macro bullish on this is if you trade back above like 192. Until then, everything's a lower high on the timeframes that matter for trend. But, you could easily spike up to like 120, 1.25. And then continue on with the macro downtrend. I think that would be kind of like an optimistic target, which is a huge move from where it's at right now, by the way. I mean, it's more than a 2x move. But yeah, long term, I cannot get bullish on something that looks like this until it actually proves itself with an uptrend. And for right now, it's massively struggling where at a time when most things in this market are just not, which is not a good sign. So while I do think it can spike higher, I don't think it's going to reverse any macro trends here. Yeah, not a tremendous fan of this chart. Anyways, moving on, we have Emmanuel B. He says, hello, gay lord. Hello. Yes, it is I, the gay lord. Give me your red dildos, sir. Check virtual protocol. Much lav. Virtual protocol. Okay. Maybe a ticker would be useful, sir. Anyways, I think I found it. I see one massive girthy green dildo on the monthly. Daily time frame. Okay, apparently I looked at this thing before. I mean, it's hard not to think that there is a local high right here. I'm sure if we look at my regular charts, there's probably bearish divergence coming off of this high. So I think it probably is in for a pullback like from here. Let's see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence on daily RSI. What about a 5-day? Barely populates an RSI for the 5-day, but there is some divergence present. So yeah, I think that this one's in for a pullback. I think it's seen the highs for a while actually, and will come back down closer to $2 in the coming couple weeks. Yeah. I'm a lot more inclined to say that this thing does put in a top here, but even if it comes down to like $1.50, which would be really fucking far down, I think it comes down to $2 at least. That'd still be a higher low on a weekly. Like that's the craziness that's going on right here. But this really does feel like when I see something like this, it really does feel like end stage market cycle type stuff. So it's like, does it come down here, put in a big bounce, but that's the bull trap, and then has the massive move to the downside? Like, if I'm asking my heart, which is the best form of analysis, it would be yes. But again, of course, if the rest of the market continues, I mean, this thing very likely does as well. Obviously, it's had a very, 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 very good last month. Anyways, moving on, we have Mr. VC. I hear that you're the issue with this market. VCs, fucking VCs. They're the scapegoat for everything. Never mind them funding all of these nonsense projects and shit like that. But we will look at it nonetheless. SPX 69,000. 6,900 actually. All right. It's going to overtake the SPX in market cap. It's a worthy goal to be having. But looking at the chart right here, you're looking at a 2 hour and a daily. 2 hour time frame. Obviously, they're trying to see upside, but I do think you are playing out a down move here and probably come down a little bit lower towards 140, 141. Try for a higher low there. Daily time frame. I mean, I am kind of inclined to call a local high here on the daily. We are seeing extremes on daily BBWP for a while there. Daily RSI, I mean, it's not really enough history to really compare it with anything in the past. But, again, it can easily come down to 130, 1.25, but it'd still be another higher low. Like that's, and I don't think that this thing is necessarily done to the upside just yet, even though it is a highly esteemed meme coin here. So, a pullback down around there would very likely be an opportunity. If it even happens at all, which I really do think that it will happen. I mean, when I see the daily jewel like this, when I see daily Rs like this, and when I see BBWP like this, like, yeah, I'm gonna think that. But yeah, pull back, higher low, continue from there, something like that. Lee Lisman says ICP BTC, insane clown posse. I found one of the things that Elsa and I do at night is we go on YouTube to watch TikTok video compilations, and something that typically comes up is the insane clown posse. And there's a bunch of vampire people there too. Like, God, I wish I could just show you these things right now. I mean, I probably could, but it would take some time to set up. But goddamn, man, like. There's a lot of people in this world, okay? There's a lot of people in this world. There's a lot of charts in this world. This chart, very bad. It's been down the whole way through. I mean, I actually do understand, at least from some of my more programmatically minded friends, that this asset, as an actual fundamental asset, is actually rather interesting and useful. But as far as charts goes, I've hated it for a couple of years, and I still hate it, honestly. Looking at ICP BTC, I mean, it's going to be hard to outpace Bitcoin, to be honest, for something like this. But, where do you actually reverse, and where does this thing get excited? And I think that's a better question for me to kind of focus on. Above your December highs, okay, yeah, this thing probably goes on a pretty significant run, almost a 2x run, somewhere around these highs that you saw from January of 2024, about a year ago. And it's not really until you're above the January highs where you even have a weekly reversal, honestly. So, overall, very weak chart, very bad. For me, I never want to call a reversal before it actually happens. And in this case, especially for something that's only ever gone down, and especially in this case, like, again, you can easily get a spike up here and reject and then come down and continue on with it. But I do think that you will trade up from here. Like, I do think that this move does resolve a little bit higher in the short term. I'm just unwilling to say that this thing's going to break above your December highs on that move. So, and if it does, then, big move to the upside, like almost a 2x. So fair enough. Anyways, I'm going to take another sip of this. I'm almost out of water, and Elsa's not here to refill it, so I might be in big trouble soon. I might have to take a stream break. Anyways, Martin Hunt says, hello, sir. What's up, ma'am? Have my fart coins already blown off. Get it? Yes, they seem to be passing some gas. Or is it looking for a higher low? Let's see. How are my farts doing? One fart equals one fart. Yes, that is how the good Lord made them. One fart equals one fart. Several drives of bearish divergence come off of this last high. It is already correcting pretty decently here. I mean, this move from 160 to 112 or so, 113, 30% move, which is actually very small, relatively speaking, for a shitcoin, a literal shitcoin, or a literal fart coin, I guess. I do think that it probably comes a little bit lower towards $1, but I actually would say you're very, very likely to get a bounce there. Very, very likely to get a bounce. And it actually might spike for one more high. But this, I do agree that this thing is very close to putting in, a major high here. But for now, I see multiple drives of bearish divergence off this last high. I see daily jewel about to turn down. I'm a lot more inclined to say that this thing does come down. What am I getting a call for right now? What is this? I don't want fucking call. Oh shit, it's my doctor. God damn it. Shit. I completely forgot about this. You know what? I might have to shut off this stream or pause it for a moment. Just one moment here. All right. Hello? Hello? Yes. Holy shit. All right. Some of you motherfuckers are so goddamn funny. Like, I was really struggling reading some of the comments while having that phone call. I especially like this one here. It seems to be stage 1 gayness. Yes. Whoops, I realized. Probably a little bit too loud right there. Anyways, I'll turn that off for right now. I wanted to play some in the background just so that it's not super fucking quiet. But yeah, you guys had me laughing really fucking hard there, like really hard. Holy shit. I apologize for that, but yeah, that was a call that I completely forgot about, and I also didn't really want to miss. I got some HCG, so my balls are going to be massive now. I'm really excited about that. Big, massive, hairy balls, like 2 fucking golf balls in my sack. Anyways, we'll get back onto the chats right here. I know exactly where we left off. We were looking at OPAI daily. Let's get it. Let's check it out over here. OPAI, probably another AI coin, or maybe it's not actually. Optopia. Cool name, I guess. Doesn't seem to be a meme coin, but ultimately, coming back up to this high right here, that is kind of the most significant high for this one at 0.0017 or 178, basically the same high from yesterday and the day prior. I would be expecting a bit of a short-term correction here. Maybe it comes a little bit lower, maybe it comes down, closer to 0.001. 0.112 region, but ultimately that's another higher low. This thing is very likely getting ready for an actual breakout out of this accumulation range. I think that this is significant. Just don't want to see it below whatever the hell this number is right here. But yeah, I think that this one's getting ready for something like this, this with the LARP lines, and then try and move to the upside. Yeah, I'd get very excited on any sort of a closure above yesterday's high. Or probably even just a trade above yesterday's high would do it for me, especially if it happened this week. Anyways, Anima says, hi, sir. AI16Z, USD. Okay, let's check this one out. 1 day and 4 hour, you sold 230, you rebought 193. I think you made a pretty damn good trade there. I think in short term, it actually comes down here. Again, this one's retested the prior high essentially. And as long as it's within this range, I mean, it is a bullish consolidation. It's just, it can take many paths. Like it can come down here, set in a higher low at $2 and then try and move to the upside. Maybe it comes a little bit lower than that. Could come back down to your entry. Somewhere between your entry and $2 is kind of where I'd be looking for on a pullback. But I do think that it is setting up again for an extension of this run. I mean, it's a pretty fucking crazy run right here. I don't know how much longer it realistically has to go, but back above 240. This thing's going to break out to new all-time highs. I mean, obviously that is basically your prior all-time high, but that would be my signal for like a trending move towards generally significantly newer highs. But I do want to be on the record also as saying that I don't know how many more spikes this one has before it goes into like a very deep correction. But yeah, short term, a little bit lower. However, I'd be looking for a higher low there, probably a try higher after that. So yeah. All right. Big Bull says, Pengu, you have stage 1 gayness. Then it's very serious. Like, I don't know who said that, but I had to really concentrate on not laughing because also, I'm also dealing with my Finnish doctor who it's a woman and she just I'm sorry, but Finns sound fucking funny when they speak English, and I know that's a jerk mean thing to say. Some Finns don't sound funny, but most of them do. Especially the older ones. It's not like a bad thing, but it is funny. It's just funny. Anyways, Pengu, I like the uptrend here for the history that it does have, which is not much, but in the very, very short term, is it correcting? Yes. Can it come a little bit lower? I mean, it could easily come down to like just below 4 cents, but I'd be looking for a higher low there. Daily time frame, I think that this one continues of any sort of short-term pullback. So yeah, if it does come down to like 4 cents or so, I'd be looking for a higher low there. If it fails 4 cents, if I'm wrong and it fails below 4 cents, I'd be looking for this thing to come closer to like 3.6 cents. Before it tries for a higher low. But I'm guessing this is another highly esteemed crypto meme. So I'm going to go with, well, yeah, short term pulls back a little bit more. Would be looking for another try to the upside after that. But I don't know how much more this thing, well, hasn't really had like a crazy move here. Yeah, I now that I look at the 12-hour, I do think that this thing can pull back actually below 4 cents. I don't think it'll hold 4 cents. Anyways, moving on, we have Mr. Calamity. He's looking at NACA daily monthly on MEXC, okay? NACA. I feel like I've seen this one before in a prior cycle. Yeah, gaming one. Okay, daily time frame. Not among the best charts that we've seen today. Wouldn't be the worst chart that we've seen today. We've seen worse for sure, but showing relative weakness, even over the past couple of days, while everything else has been rallying back up around prior highs. I mean, that's just never going to be a good sign for the long term. But if I'm looking at the weekly right here, you have a pretty obvious trading range going on, right? Something like this. You're on the bottom side of it, but it is a downtrend. I mean, this is a downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs. On the shorter term time frames, if we go to here to the weekly, obviously, it's a little bit more steady, I guess, but I'm of the opinion this thing probably even comes down to the weekly range low, maybe a little bit lower towards 76 cents, 75 cents, which is a pretty big move from where it currently is at. And retest the bottom side of this region. And if it is decent, it should bounce heroically from that. But looking at the monthly, I mean, this is relative weakness just by definition of it. So I do think, especially if Bitcoin pulls back anywhere between here and 105, this thing probably does pull back percentage wise a lot more. I really would not be surprised to see this thing between 75 to 80 cents in the coming weeks. But yeah, I'll be wrong in the short term if it comes back and pops up above your December 25th high. Until then, this is, I mean, technically it's a descending triangle if you want to call a pattern on it. So, more likely to resolve to the downside in the short term. Just that probably gives you that move down to the bottom side of the weekly range. And then hopefully for your sake, it bounces from going off the monthly. I mean, short term, yeah, down. Can't get excited about this thing, especially as long as it's below 111 on a monthly. Anyways, moving on, we have Lazy XBT. He says, "Hey Krown, my 64-year-old father told me to follow you back in 2018. That is absolutely crazy." That's really cool, but I wonder who your father is. I wonder if he's ever spoken on this channel. Been lurking since. Also did a course. Awesome, man. I'll buy you a beer if I bump into you. I appreciate the notion. That's awesome. I don't actually try. I fucking hate beer, to be honest, man. I really do. But we can figure something out, my man. Or we can just have a nice little chat. That's all good too. But yeah, man, thanks for that. It's just a nice positive message, and that's awesome, man. It's crazy to me that like your father got you into this. Like, what? It sounds like a cool dad, honestly. Anyways, we have crypto wrecked RD next. He's looking at Sir Krown, PP on weekly, please. I will PP on the weekly. See what PP is looking like. Compare this with the last chart that we just looked at. The fundamentals of PP much better than Nakamoto Games, I guess. Kind of a weird one here on the weekly and on the daily. Like, I do think, again, it could easily have a pullback down to 19,000, whatever the hell number that is, and put in a higher low and try higher. But, just like most things, as long as you're holding this consolidation range, this is going to have a bullish bias. As long as you're between 27,000 to the upside versus essentially your December lows to the downside, 18,000-ish region on a closing basis. So does it pull back first and then try higher towards the top side of the range? Does it just bust through here and try towards, 24, 25,000 before playing at a pullback? These things I don't have strong opinions on, but if I had to call it, I do think it'll continue a little bit further to the upside first and then pull back, and then you get your actual breakout try. But for right now, I think that this thing takes some time to kind of trade sideways here, to be honest. So that's why I'm more inclined to say that it does take a more prolonged route, but maybe short term, a small extension of this rally and then pull back, look for the higher low, look for some sideways. And then this thing probably does try another move to all-time highs. I'm looking at the monthly. I don't hate it as long as it's above last month's low. We've seen that same thing on many cryptos already, actually. Anyways, Charles McIver says, UAL, what is this? United Airlines? Is that what it is? Yeah, it is. Okay. And you're looking at daily, weekly, monthly. Okay. Would you enter now? I have no idea what your investment or trading preferences are, so I have no fucking clue. Anytime I see something retest a prior major high, and in this case, it's a prior all-time high, I'm always going to look for a pullback first. So would I be entering here? No, because I think I can get a better price if I wanted to be in this thing to begin with, which I don't. I wouldn't want to be in a fucking airline. I'd want to be in tech. But, looking at the daily, can this thing, or is it suggesting a pullback right here? Let me actually go to my other chart. I'm curious to see if there is like any major divergences on our higher timeframes. Actually, the daily has hidden bullish divergence. So does it actually try for a real breakout to the upside from here? I guess possible. Possible, yes. Overall, if it does pull back, it's just going to be a higher low. Personally, I think it could easily pull back down to like $80. That's just my opinion, though. If I'm looking at this from a range perspective, top side of the range 103 and a half, I guess. Bottom side of the range 91 and a quarter. As long as you're between there, I guess it actually does have a chance to break out to the upside, but I wouldn't call it a real breakout to the upside until it actually does close above 104, preferably on a weekly, honestly. And then at that point, yeah, this thing's going to make new all-time highs. But do not underestimate the time that this move can take to consolidate, especially after just fucking vertical since August. I mean, it's literally been fucking vertical since August. And you're getting your first you got your first red week just in December. I think it's a lot more likely to play at a prolonged consolidation here and probably does trade lower first before higher later. I could be wrong on that, though, of course. Anyways, we have Mr. Oddly Satisfying next. He's looking at Mavia on the daily and weekly. Please, okay, Mavia. All right, Heroes of Mavia. All right, let's see what this one is. Okay, terrible. Among the worst charts that we've seen today, for sure. Might even deserve the nuke because it is that fucking bad. Why do you get into shit like this? I'm genuinely curious. Do they try to sell you on like some sort of white paper dreams of riches because you invested in Mavia coin? I'm never going to like anything that goes straight fucking down during a bull market. I will never like it. I will never like it. And this thing has a lot of work to do before it even can possibly dream of a reversal, which I don't think is happening anyways. But as long as you're below $2.5, there's no bullish hopium to be spoken about on this thing at all whatsoever. Do I think you could get a bounce up to $1.5? Yeah. Is that a big percentage move from where it currently is at right now? Yeah. Do I think it's going to sell off from that move as well? Yeah. Shitty charts will continue to beat shitty charts, typically speaking. But yeah, could easily have a move up to $1.5. It's just, I'd be looking at that as another lower high in a series of lower highs before getting ready to make new lower lows. Bad. Anyways, Daniel Garcia says doggy on daily time frame. I think we did that one earlier, so we're all good there. J3F is looking at Zerebro. Okay. All right. Kind of weird one here, man. Happy New Year to you as well, sir. Looking at the 4-hour, do I think it's going to try for a bounce from where it currently is at? Probably yes. You are seeing some potential for bullish divergence here. Again, this is very low term time frame stuff, but yeah, you do have higher lows on 4-hour RSI with lower lows on price action. If it does close a 4-hour time frame above, let's call it 48 cents, this thing should bounce, maybe bounces up to like 50-ish in the short term, if that's of interest to you. Daily time frame, I mean, it does have an uptrend here. Should be looking for a higher low. Can it put in a higher low right here? Doesn't look super strong to me, to be honest, but I guess it'll be confirmed if it does trade above yesterday's high, which is what, 58 cents. I'd be looking at this as confirmed as the next higher low and getting ready to trend to new highs, I guess. Yeah, fair enough. If it does want to drop a little bit further, I'd be looking at like 42 cents for a higher low, something like that. But the more I look at it, the more it does look like it actually could put in a higher low here. So fair enough. I'd be first looking at that 4-hour bullish divergence to get confirmed first. So if you see that, then okay, the door is open for that higher low to kind of spill on over into your 12-hour/daily. Again, very, very new thing right here. So I just do not trust it that much. Oh, you're on the very low term timeframes. Yeah, if I'm on an hourly and 4-hour time frame, I do think short term you do get a short pop to the upside, probably around 50 cents. Personal opinion. Mr. Max says, good day, Sir Krown. Good day, sir. Desync daily on Uniswap. DSYNC. Okay. Desync on MEX. On MEXC. On the Mexican exchange. Again, another example of something retesting a prior all-time high, pulling back drastically from that high. Volatility reached a absolute climax there. And I'd be looking for this one to trade, down, sideways and down from here in the coming week or two, but should be looking for a higher low. But the problem is that you could come all the way down to 41 cents, which is a 20% move from where you're currently at, or about a 20% move, and still be a higher low. Like, it's a big fucking range. It might even come down to like 40 cents or so. Short term, I think that you found a high. Longer term, comes down to like low 40s, tries for a bounce from there, and then I guess if it's going to continue, it's going to continue from there. But one thing before the next. First things first. Pull back first, then try for higher later. Like I say, low 40s. Anyways, we have Jay Even. He's looking at IBIT ETF. Yeah, it's interesting to me that more people don't ask about this. I guess people are mostly involved on the shitcoin exchanges, but fair enough. Everyone has their own preferences. But where's my fucking IBIT? There it is. Okay, didn't realize it's so high up on my list. Looking at IBIT. I mean, it's very, very similar chart to CME. Less so to spot, although they still have their similarities, but closer to CME. We do see hidden bullish divergence off of this last low, actually a couple drives. And I should warn you on the super chats, like I don't have Elsa here, so all of the ones that were submitted after like fucking 20 minutes ago, I do not have access to. Actually, now that I look at it, that was like 40 minutes ago. Holy shit. Anyways. This one, if it wants to play at a short-term pullback somewhere around here from 58.5, fine. But this thing is setting up for this thing is setting up for a new all-time high breakout. I mean, even if it pulls back here, I don't think it's going to pull back a whole hell of a lot. These are all continuation. Yeah, these are all. I think I'm actually glad that you brought this one up because IBIT is a lot more of an obvious chart to me than Bitcoin Spot. Because with Bitcoin Spot, I've been saying that hey, probably has a bit of a pullback here, and again, this thing probably does trade a little bit further north, but even a small pullback from there is kind of inconsequential in the greater scheme of things. Looking at the weekly, looking at the monthly, I don't think it's going to really show up there. I think that the monthly is just going to be continuation, honestly. Here is a major fucking bullish signal. Whenever you see on a higher term time frame, so like a monthly time frame, a traditionally very bearish candle formation, dildo formation, in this case a shooting star dildo, which is typically a signal of reversal from up to down, and you do not see the next month follow through, or at minimum trade below the low of the of the reversal dildo, it's, in many cases I see these things just fucking take off from there. As far as daily goes, I mean, even the daily jewel's turning up as well. Yeah, I think that this one does continue from here. If there's pullbacks, it's probably just short-term time frame pullbacks. Nothing bearish about this thing as long as it's above, especially like 54. Anyways, moving on, we have, who do we have? We have Mr. Lev Ashen. He's looking at JUP. No problem, man. I actually have this one on my list too. Made a video about it like many, many moons ago. And pretty unimpressive here, to be honest. The range is the same. LARP lines, I think the LARP lines are exactly what's going to play out right here. I mean, maybe it doesn't come down and make a new low, but should be sideways and should be up from here. It's just you've kind of popped up already quite a fair bit, so maybe a bit more sideways and down from this current from this current area right here. It would make sense. You do have potential for hidden bearish evidence on the daily. You're already making higher highs than your highs from this was early December when it was trading at 115. So whether it whether it puts in a local high here or maybe tries a little bit higher towards like 106, 108 is not super important to me. I do think that it will come down from that, but again, probably looking at a higher low here. Again, I don't think it necessarily has to come down this low, but probably looking at a higher low, something like that, and then sideways and up. Weekly does have some hidden bullish evidence, so can't really hate that. Yeah, other than that, I think it's setting up. I just don't think it's very strong. But I do think it, if the rest of the market moves to the upside, this thing will too. And I think that that's what's happening. 5-day also has the same sort of signal here too. So I'm a lot more inclined to say that this thing trades sideways, probably even upside from here after maybe a short-term pullback. But it's all kind of irrelevant if you're looking at the greater time frames like the weekly or the 5-day, for example. I wouldn't get super excited about this thing doing like a fucking lunar move, or even that, probably not going to be a lunar move, but like a big move as long as it's below your December highs. The second that it reclaims those highs, okay, this thing's going to very likely make new all-time highs, very likely going to find this thing $2.5, $3 at least. It's been a long consolidation here, so this thing can be explosive, but I think it still takes some time. Not the strongest thing of all time, but also certainly not the weakest. Okay, Jay Clark, y'all, says Phil USD. Okay, Phil USD. Whoops, I did not spell that correctly. Okay, File Derp. File Derp on the 4-hour, daily, and 1 hour. That's a very interesting spread of time frames. Hourly time frame likely continues a little bit more up, maybe closer to like 615, 620-ish region. In the short term, 4-hour time frame probably even just goes for yesterday's high. Yeah, was it? Yeah, yesterday was Monday, so yesterday's high. Daily time frame. If it closes above yesterday's high, then I'd look at this one as breaking out on the daily and likely to trade up towards 7.25 to even $8. I mean, at that point, this thing just looks like that it just put in its a significant weekly higher low. And actually at that point probably does try towards your March highs. Still long term, not a big fan of a chart like this, but it could spike up here if it does reclaim that high and still sell off from there too, to be fair. But I guess you're not really asking about these higher term timeframes, so perhaps I shouldn't go over it because it's not relevant anyways. But yeah, I do think that it probably tries higher. K-Max says XRP USD 1 hour chart. Okay, very low term time frame. XRP holding actually very well here compared to most things, especially over the last few weeks. It's already close to the top side of the range, I suppose. Oops, so let me do this exactly for this time frame. Range still is between 272 to the upside versus $2 to the downside. If you're specifically just asking about the 1 hour time frame, though, I would say this one does have a short-term continuation move to the upside, maybe closer to 248, 250-ish region, somewhere around this high here from the 4th of January. Higher term timeframes, I know you didn't ask about it, but I think it's interesting. Again, this monthly look right here, I do think that it is going to push through. If there is any sort of pullback, I'd be looking at 228 region, 228 or so, but that would be my higher low. So like if it does pull back, higher low at 228, if not, continuation from here. I mean, this thing's actually more primed than a lot of things we've seen today, which is interesting. But you never know with XRP because it just can fucking dump to hell out of nowhere. It's crazy. That's why I do not trade this thing. Anyways, okay, so that was the last super chat that I was actually sent that I know about. It's from KMac. I'm going to scroll back over here and try to find the ones that I missed. Like I said, I apologize in advance if I can't find them. It looks like I can only find a few of them, so I really do apologize if I did miss you. But I just don't have a way of actually pulling back to these right now. as I don't have my Elsa helper. Anyways, Tone says, hello, good sir. Can you check out Covalent CXT USDT on daily and 4-hour timeframes? Okay. What was it? CXT? A lot of new ones today, actually. Okay. Never heard of it in my life. Covalent. Sounds like a very scientific name. Not bad. I mean, I do like the uptrend, and it's kind of like a weird looking altcoin, of course, but still holding the uptrend is always a good signal. I mean, maybe it comes down a little bit more in the short term, like slightly at 12 and a quarter cent, but I think that this thing is getting ready for like a real breakout here. The weekly tells a story with the higher low right here. You've already at the prior high, grinding up against that high. Typically that's what you do see before a legitimate breakout attempt. So in this case, any sort of a closure, especially on a weekly above just under 14 cents, this thing's going to fly to new highs. I mean, we can do a little bit of an extension for this one. And areas of interest upside upon breaking that would be close to a quarter. And then you got 32 cents, 40 cents. Things get really crazy. But yeah, this thing actually looks very, very prompt right there, man. So not bad. Let's see. Crypto Forever 2019 says, hey, Krown, GPU, Node AI, daily and weekly on MEXC. Okay. GPU. All right. On MEXC. Similar as well. This one's stronger than the last one, but pretty good. I feel like we've definitely looked at this one before in the past week or two. And for whatever reason, I don't have a chart in it right now, but short term, again, it's popping up around this prior high. Can it pull back here? Sure. If it wants to pull back to 158, maybe even 140, fine. It's another higher low though. This thing is getting ready to break out to the upside. In fact, now that I look at the weekly, I think you probably do pull back a little bit towards maybe mid to low 160s, but this thing is getting ready for a real breakout to the upside. Any sort of a weekly closure above 208, and I'll do the same thing for this chart as I did for the last chart. Areas of interest to the upside on a legitimate breakout on the weekly would be 330 and then 440. So that would be pretty significant moves for something that's trading at 180 right there. Yeah, man, seems like this market is really setting up. Again, just follow the trend. Higher high, higher low. You're already around the last prior high. Maybe the consolidation goes on for a little while longer. Maybe you got to pull back in the short term towards, like I said, low 160s, but that should be your next higher low if it does. Anyways, moving forwards, we have Jay Boogie. He's looking at MPC daily. How much longer until another climax? Well, depends who you are. Some people, a very, very short amount of time. That would be me, actually. Some people, very, very long. That would not be me. Looking at this thing, how long until another climax? This thing had a climax already, and not looking good. It broke that last range to the downside with gusto. So, maybe it has a short-term pop to the upside here, but I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is put in a high for a very, very long time. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this thing put in a high for a very, very long time. 70% down already from that. So look, like it can easily bounce here to above 3 cents, maybe 3.5 cents or 4 cents if things really get crazy. But I have no problem saying that this thing has probably seen the highs for many moons. Long term, I think it comes back down to 1 cent. Yeah. But short term, does it try a bounce from here? I think it probably will, but here's the key. I will be right on this one just being a massive fucking blow off failure. If you see it bounce from here, somewhere around here, get rejected, and then roll on over. You see that? Really, 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 really bad sign if you see a rejection right around here. Until then, I guess, bounce brings hopium, but I would express a lot of reservation with something like this. I think that this one's probably seen the highs. Anyways, we have Rockpile Crypto says, hey, Krown, what's up, man? Peak USDT. Okay. Peak PEAQ. And this is on what? One day and 4 hour. Okay. Daily time frame. Another good example of retesting a prior, basically all time high, selling off from that. Can it come down lower? Could easily come down to 60 cents or so, but that would be another higher low for this thing. 4-hour time frame, short term, does look like it's about to resolve the short term range to the downside. And yeah, I'd be looking somewhere around 60 cents or so. Again, that would be a higher low on your daily, so I'm not like super concerned with this, but I can tell you where I'd get very concerned with this. Anywhere below last week's low. Anywhere below last week's low, which is 50 cents, bearish as fuck. Until then, pullbacks are higher lows, and until then, probably sets up a nice sideways consolidation range here. Trade sideways and then tries another move to the upside. But yeah, not bad. All right. I'm at the bottom of the super chats now, so I'll get to some of the regular chats. I realize we've already been on this stream for 2 hours, but a good 5 minutes of that was talking with my Finnish doctor, so so no problem. Oh, okay. Nice. Bear has them. Yeah, Bear, if you can send them over, if I missed any, shoot them over, man. I see a couple more coming through right now. We have Freedom Bob. He says CAS USD index. What? Oh, you're looking, okay, on the index. Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean. And you're looking at the daily, weekly, monthly. Let's start high, finish low. That really does look like a monthly head and shoulders, to be honest. Double left shoulder, right head over here, right shoulder over here. I do not like it as long as it's below December's highs. And especially, again, in the last couple of days with everything else bouncing, towards those prior highs, I don't look at that as a good sign. But when I go to the daily, it doesn't look as bad, I suppose. When I go to the weekly, it probably gets a bounce here. It could easily bounce up to 14 and a half cents. But I kind of want to express some. Yeah, I kind of want to express when I look at the quarter. I think that this thing's probably hit a high. If it does bounce, that should be a sell. Of course, I can always be massively wrong about these things, but this on the quarterly, if I see something like this, I'm gonna think that it is going to be a macro high for a very long time. And yeah. December highs would be my line in the sand above there. Okay, I'm wrong. Until then, all bounces are lower highs, and I do think that it will bounce here. So maybe there's some hopium, but I don't think that it's going to be reclaiming anything significant. And again, the higher term time frame that I go, the worse that it looks. So maybe we'll check out a 6 months just to see. 6 months not as bad, I guess. I mean, maybe come down to like just below 10 cents and then bounce. But we'd need to see like a heroic fucking bounce if that were to happen. Like the most heroic bounces possible. So yeah, I guess I'd keep an open mind until that happens, but it would be confirmed, at least as far as I'm concerned, to be absolutely fucking wrecked if you do see it take out last month's lows on a closing basis, especially. Yeah. Okay. All right. I see. Holy shit. Bear is on top of things. All right. I see Cameron Maltby is looking at Moo Dang. Is this still a thing? Not for long. I look at this one as consolidating kind of on this lower block here, honestly, man. Here's a range high. It just broke that prior range low at 32 cents, basically. So that becomes resistance now. Your new range lows are 22 and a quarter. You just hit the range high. I think that this thing comes closer to the range low, honestly, man. Of course, I will be wrong if this thing reclaims last week's high. If you see it trade and close on a daily time frame above 32 cents, let's call it. At that point, I do think it could actually send this run into the mid 40s. And things look not so bad if that were to happen, but I don't think that's what's happening here. I see this one kind of switching into perhaps a little bit more of a bearish posturing, but when I go to the 5-day time frame, I actually get less of that signal. And the weekly is not conclusive either. I actually would say on this particular chart, a healthy amount of I don't know is the right answer on this one. I actually do not feel super strongly one way on this chart. If I had to call it, I'd say sideways and down. But if it reclaims 32 cents, could be okay. I mean, at least it wouldn't be wrecked, and it has a chance, but it would need to reclaim that relatively soon. Anyways, Nishan says, when a coin moves to price discovery, how to make educated decisions on take profit levels, next area of resistance, top. It's very difficult, of course, and it's extremely difficult to do in the moment. Areas of interest that I like to use when things are breaking out to new all-time highs, Fibonacci extensions. Is it going to be perfect all the time? Absolutely not. Is it going to get you in the right direction? A lot of the time, yes. Another tool that you can use is another method that you could use is just having your own sort of mental numbers that, hey, if it gets to this number, I need to sell out, because obviously at some point you need to take profit, right? And then on top of that, what I would suggest, please, no more super chats. My voice is already wrecked, and two hours is quite long as well. What else was I saying? I think the easiest way to know when to take profits, rather than just guess on an area of interest, basically, is to wait for a tangible reversal signal. And, something as simple as waiting for like RSI divergence, that could work. If you get 3 drives of RSI divergence on your daily or weekly or something like that, you're probably very close to a high, if not already hitting the high. Okay. Like I said, please don't send in any more super chats. I do not have the stamina right now. Hugo E says, MNW, monthly and weekly. MNW. Okay, got it. Morpheus Networks. Bear Nutrition is so fucking on top of shit. He has all these chats like perfectly organized. It's awesome, man. Fuck yeah. MNW, hidden bearish divergence on that last high. Obviously, it's like a very late call for that, but I do think that it could trade a little bit lower, maybe closer to like 27, 28 cents. Overall, again, another example of just an uninteresting chart, with everything else around prior highs, this thing closer to the all-time lows than anything in a macro downtrend on all time frames that matter. Just not a fucking good sign, man. So, if I had to call it right here, maybe it gets a bounce relatively soon, somewhere closer to like 31 or 30 cents, but all bounces are failures for this thing. All bounces are failures. Nothing even remotely hopium about this, as long as you're below December's highs, which is 67.25 cents. Above there, this thing could probably run towards $2, which is a tremendously massive move for this thing. But I would express massive skepticism with that happening, especially after last month was just a tremendous rejection from that bounce attempt. I think it's more likely to trade closer to 24, 25 cents. Maybe you get another bounce attempt there, but yeah. Compared to most charts we've seen today, very, very bad. Anyways, moving on, we have Cameron Maltby again. He's looking at, US dollar versus Aussie dollar. Usually it's this way around, not USD versus AUD, but we can do this as well, I guess. Anyways, looking at this thing, Aussies are fucked. Well, at least our currency is. Might bounce a little bit more towards 64.25. Maybe, but if it does, that would be a sell to me. Hidden bearish divergence the whole way through. Downtrend since 2011. 6 months just closed like this on the lows. Yeah, if it did pop up to like 64, 65 cents, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity to sell and get the fuck out. This thing is so far away from reversing. It's not even worth talking about, honestly. Short term, though, can it try for a bounce here? Yeah, I think it probably will try for a bounce in the short term, but I think that bounce is, I think that bounce has a limited lifespan, especially as long as you're even below September's high. It's just bad, just fucking bad. Is the Aussie dollar cooked? The thing is with Forex, though, is that, you can look at all the technicals and everything, and trend does seem to work decently there, but it is a lot more fundamentally driven, to be fair. It really is. So it does make things a little more difficult. Bonk, we got that one earlier, so all good there. Michael Ambriel says, love the channel and real vibes. Awesome, man. I'm a real person. I'm a real boy. CRV shitcoin on daily. LOL. If market has final push, what's the possible outlook? This is a 2020 shitcoin, right? Yeah, how's it done so far? Okay, so it seems to me like it finally has put in a low as of the last semi-annual close. Not a, again, never going to love a chart that just goes generally down. This thing could pop up all the way to 3.25, and that'd probably be a great place for another lower high. You already have potential for hidden bearish divergence on the monthly RSI, and that's going to be available to you as, I mean, shit, basically as long as you're below like $4. So really tough one here to like, okay. So anyways, the question is, if the market has a final push, okay, so let's say Bitcoin goes to, well, I mean, that's okay. That's a really fucking difficult question because it's like, what is a final push for Bitcoin? What would that equate to for something like this? You know, I don't see this thing taking out your prior January 2022 highs. Do I think it could upon like a, you know, a big push from the market? So again, assumption here is big push from the market. If that does not happen, the rest of this is certainly not going to happen. Or very close to certainly not going to happen. You know, maybe you bounce up closer to $2.5, $3, which is still a pretty big fucking move from where it's at right now. But that would be an epic lower high again on the monthly here. So yeah, no matter which way I look at this one, it's like, you know, short term. Okay, if it does continue, yeah, you know, maybe even $3, but still pretty fucking ugly. We're still streaming. Anyways, Nishan says, what's a good support on the daily for Brett? Let's check it out right here.
Do you have all of them?
Yes, I have all of them. All right. What's Brett doing? Whoops. I am drawing lines again. What's a good support on the daily for Brett? I mean, if you're looking for the range low, if that's what you mean by support, I would say 11.70 cent. You know, does it come down there? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't just blindly say it's going to come down there, but if you're just literally asking for where the support is, that is where I would plot you out. That's also the last low, which hidden bullish divergence actually coming off of. So would be a good area if it did get back down around there, but you know, then you're setting up for like a big sideways range and you're literally right in the middle of it. So I don't really have like, I wouldn't have a call here. Whenever you're in the middle of a range, like it's basically 50-50. Anyways, last one for John Dude. He's looking at Hype USDT on the 12-hour and daily. Hype. Okay. Let's go to Gate.io. Oh, thank you for letting me know. I'm busy. Anyways, Hype. I feel like I've seen this one before, and there's a bigger chart for it, but it's not on TradingView, which makes things really, really fucking annoying. Maybe no, this is not it. I know that there is, like, because I've looked into this one because I've seen it around so much, even from people that are like quite respectable, which means that I don't know, maybe there's something to it, but I'm not seeing a more long running chart than this, which makes it difficult. I mean, this one, I do think it does trade up from here. I do think that it will pop up maybe closer to like 28 to $30, but that is essentially your range highs, right? You know, coming in from right there, your range lows coming in from right here, and it is within a downtrend right now too. But I'd really like to see the full history of this. I just don't have it right now. All right, it's like I keep on asking people not to send in fucking super chats, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Okay, I'm gonna close them now, says Elsa. Anyways, looking at ARC, you do sound like that. It's debatable. I spoke with my doctor, and she's gonna up my dosage of ACG so my balls get even bigger. What do you think about that?
Okay, thank you for letting me know.
Yes, you're welcome. They're very big, very big.
Are they bigger than mine?
They're much bigger than yours.
Debatable.
Anyways, ARC on CoinX. I think it's probably all the same here. You know, popping up to the range high, of course. Selling off from there, but I want to see something obvious here. I mean, your range low is all the way down here. Like, Jesus Christ. Big fucking ranges. Okay, there's got to be a time frame that has something like super obvious here. Okay. Yeah. When I go to the 5-day, when I go to the weekly, this is what I'd be betting on for a higher low if it's going to be bullish. So must remain above 2.6 cents. But as long as it's above there, I mean, this consolidation does have a bullish bias. You do have your higher low. You do have your higher high. I mean, look how fucking far down it came on this higher low. 64%. Yeah, that's my problem with a lot of these altcoin analysis, that, you know, if it does want to play a range, like, it can be fucking massive, but that is a higher low, and that is actually good. So I'm a lot more inclined to say it goes sideways and up from here, maybe after a short-term pullback, but no.
It's wrong.
It's wrong?
R on Coindex.
Oh, God. On CoinDerp?
That's what
Oh, it is different. All right, you're right. New all-time highs. Very good. I'm glad that you said something, even though it's very annoying for me to be wrong. But indeed I am in this case. And this thing probably going to make new all-time highs, maybe even today. I'll be wrong on that statement if you see it take out this morning's low and close below there, about 37.5 cents. Until then, I'm actually looking for this thing to continue on with the upwards trend, man. Hidden bullish evidence on the last 12-hour low. I'd be looking at that as significant. And I think it just closed above your range highs. Yeah, just barely. But you know how these things trade. They super fucking floaty with the lack of liquidity for these things. But yeah, as long as it's above there, this morning's low, I'll be looking for this one to continue upwards and onwards, I guess. Anyways, that is what we'll end thing for today. Holy shit, man. Long ass stream, like super long stream, even longer because I had a medical call during the stream, which is good. A new thing, a new occurrence for this stream. I want to say a massive thank you to Bear Nutrition for picking up the slack when Elsa was doing all sorts of other things that she shouldn't be doing anyways, like exercising. Stop it, no more. And we'll end things on that note. I want to say, again, a happy new year to everyone out there. We'll maybe even do another live stream on Friday, and we'll be running the sale, like I said, until next Monday for 20% off with the code 2025. And yeah, we'll end things right there.
You should read my comment.
Okay. Elsa would like me to read her comment before we sign off. Yeah, make fatties cool again. She's like so proud of herself for thinking of this. Anyways, it's been an absolute pleasure on this nice Tuesday morning. Like I said, we'll do some more live streams, maybe intermittently. They won't be announced priorly, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. We had a nice fun time today. I had fun. That was interesting. Hopefully it was interesting for you as well. We signing off on that note. Take care. Much love.